proper spring clean has started at Hutton. Everyone has their sleeves rolled up and are getting stuck in with the scrubbing, wiping, bagging, washing, and flamethrowering. The bin men and women have been working overtime to clear away the mountains of household rubbish that have built up. There are no little yellow trucks on Hutton, so they're loading everything into an old Mark I Scarab SRV, which is serving as a bin lorry. Everyone knows when it arrives in their sector because their eyes start to water from the smell. The kids at St. Psycho Cow's primary school are all wearing hand-me-down flight suits from their older siblings, which they were assured would do them a turn. Most of them seem happy enough with their new cobbler, except for wee Tommy, who's sporting a rather fetching but sadly out-of-season Christmas jumper. The apprentices at the Centauri Megagin distillery have been cleaning up the stills, vats and tubes, using a combination of pipe cleaners, rags on sticks, radioactive compounds, and exposure to space. The radiation is what gives it that fresh citrus taste, says one of the master distillers. It's difficult to know which one, since his face is a bit, well, melty. A round of airlock flushing is scheduled for later in the day, with management insisting that this will make the corridor smell fresh and outdoorsy. Everyone waits to see if it's their turn to run for shelter. They look up with a start as the tannoy comes to life and a voice says,
"Our mics are live." Good evening, everybody. I'm Sandy Crevice, and I've been dusting round my knickknacks.
Ooh, I'll put that duster straight in the incinerator when you're done. I'm Wilma Fingadoo, and I've emptied Mooncake's litter box.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought those were big matchmakers. I'm Mia Harkness, and I've been cleaning out the mugs. They've been steeping in bleach for a week.
I'm Norma Snockers, and I've been clearing the cobwebs out of Studio 6 into the air vents.
I wondered what was setting my allergies off. Let's get to the headlines. Catastrophe in Kokari.
Sniffing out excellence. Details of the new Corsair are announced.
Big on savings, small on stock.
And as always, I'll be enlightening you all with my erudite analysis of the ebb and flow of the galactopolitical situations across our multitudinous planetary and orbital establishments, interspersed, of course, with my usual smattering of witty banter and repartee in the BGS bit. How much time did that use up, Jim?
All helps. Here we go. We open this evening with grave news from Kokari. Last week we were forced into a war there which, in spite of mobilising in defence of our systems, we lost to the EDF. Worse, Hutton's influence has been in freefall ever since, and we're now being forced into another war against Kokari Holding. We really need to win this one, and to climb back up the influence chart, so Alvin's going to be positively upset. And none of us want that. Especially me, as it's my turn next to give him any bad news. If combat isn't your thing, you can still help in the system by reducing the enormous gains that the EDF is trying to make while we're pinned at 18% by the war. Until it's over, anything that you can do to help Kokari Liberals, Kokari Justice Party, or Kokari Purple Family will boost their influence at the expense of the EDF. So missions, bounties, trade, exploration, any of that good stuff for one of those would be great. Of course, we cannot condone direct action against the EDF in these circumstances, so we are definitely not asking you to, for example, murder innocent, clean, friendly EDF allied ships that you happen to see around the system. That would be bad. Wink. More on this, and on the rest of Hutton Space, in the BGS bit after the rest of the news.
Pilots Federation has unveiled further details about Gutamaya's latest offering, the Corsair. This highly anticipated ship is quickly becoming the talk of the bubble, with commanders eager to add it to their fleets, although some are turning up their noses over its bold design. Under its striking beak, the Corsair is a veritable powerhouse of flexibility. Its optional internals include 3 6-class slots, 3 Class 5 slots, and 1 slot each for Classes 1, 2, 3, and 4. The core internals include a Class 7 power plant, power distributor and thrusters, Class 6 sensors, a Class 5 frameshift drive and fuel tank, and Class 4 life support. With these specs, the Corsair promises both performance, versatility, and reliability, meaning it won't conk out on you when you need it most. When it comes to defense, this ship is no slouch. With 3 large and 3 medium tightly grouped hardpoints, it's well equipped to deter noisy attackers. This robust loadout positions the Corsair as a top contender for mission running, possibly threatening the dominance of old favourites like the Python. Reports have already surfaced of second-hand Python prices starting to fall in anticipation. But the Corsair has sparked a fierce debate over its looks. While some commanders admire its bold aesthetic, others have dismissed it as a nose too far. Whether it's a daring design statement or an unfortunate misstep will likely depend on your own perspective and sense of humour. For those eager to make a statement, or sniff at those who don't, the Corsair will be available for ARCs on the 8th of April. Love it or loathe it, this ship is bound to leave its mark. Or at least noseprint in the galaxy.
Reports are coming in of frenzied behaviour among shoppers at the Pilots Federation officially licensed 100% genuine, totally legitimate merch store, following the announcement of an up to 90% off sale on a number of lines of their officially licensed 100% genuine, totally legitimate merchandise. In scenes that rival the Great Green Friday, in space it's always black, so the traditional shopping day has been merged with St Patrick's Day in the hopes that there would be discounts on gin and renamed to a more visible colour. In scenes that rival the Great Green Friday of 3302, when Centauri Megagin actually did get marked down for the first and probably last time, crowds of eager commanders descended on the Pilots Federation officially licensed 100% genuine, totally legitimate merch store, scouring the shelves for a bargain, big or small. Well, actually, mostly the big ones. The small ones seem to still be there. Specifically, there's a small pile of cloth in one corner under a torn sign that says T-shirts, but the only sizes they seem to have left are small, extra small, unfeasibly small, and apology officer.
Hey!
Hey, I'm just reading it, I don't write it, you know. Oh, and they have some so-called mugs too, but I've checked and they're not proper mugs. They don't even say Hutton on them. And it's no wonder they have some left. Some graffitied the Alliance logo on the side of them. They'll never shift them now. But if you're looking for a bargain, you might want to pop over to the Pilots Federation officially licensed 100% genuine, totally legitimate merch store and see what they've got left.
I muted myself. Welcome to the Hutton BGS bit where we shake the Etch-a-Sketch of the background simulation and then draw a rude picture in its place. We have expanded, but we buggered for nowhere too. There are loads of systems where Hutton has appeared recently, possibly LHS 3003, although that looks like someone else's colony system. Booms are in HIP 24877, PSPF LF2, Treppin, Midgecut, 36 Alpha again, Ross 671, Epsilon Indy. Co-Carry, as you might have heard, is having a civil liberty, pirate attacks, and a war with, no need to guess who, the EDF. How very dearly. Investment is back in Wolf 359 and ongoing in Barnard Star, breaking all records. And it's all going on in the colonies. There are BGS states listed there which I thought were made up, but they're not. But what does it all mean? Well, if you want to truck it to Wolf 359, Barnard Star, or one of those boom systems. If you want to shoot it in Kokari, especially if it looks anything like EDF, but you never heard that from me. And if you want to mission run, then peaceful missions in Wolf 359 or Barnard Star, and dangerous stuff in Kokari to support the war effort. And that's it for this week's Hutton BGS bit.
Well, almost seamless.
Almost.
Very, very much seemed, because my picture is not up this week.
Oh no!
I'm sure we can fix
Gray
that.
is
Quick,
there.
somebody distract her while I fix it.
Hold on. That's not what.
Seamless.
I'm not even in the Twitch chat. I've done nothing.
You've done nothing.
I've done nothing.
Nothing at all.
I'm not even signed in.
So it's a green room week, or as it says in the script, it's only a ruddy green room week.
What's going on? Right.
I don't know
You
what you
signed
mean.
in?
The faces look perfect.
I'm not signed in. I was scared in case it was me that was making everything double back. I've left it. So anyway.
So it's only a ruddy green room week.
It's only a ruddy green room week.
A room that is positively green.
Yes.
And you know what that means?
Yep, it means it's going to be a long show.
It depends on how many people.
It depends on looking for the green room. Yeah,
that's true.
Speaking of green room, where might one need to go to get to the green room?
That would be ts.forthemug.com.
Which is not a website.
It's not a website.
TeamSpeak server.
It's TeamSpeak server. You download TeamSpeak, you run it, and you type it into there.
I did that today.
Ooh. Why did you need to do it today? You had it last week.
Yeah, I had it last week, but it was on a different computer.
Different computer. Have you got a new computer, Mia?
I have, and it's got lights and fans, and was telling you and saying,
woo!
It's very fancy. Yeah, which is all I need from a computer. Never mind any kind of performance and things. It lights up and it has a remote control, and I can change the colour of my lights.
Yes, never mind the CPU. Look at all the blinking lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on flashy rainbow mode now. I've left it in flashy rainbow mode.
Flashy rainbow mode is the best.
It is.
And very you.
So yes. So ts.forthemug.com will get you in to the Hutton server, and then you can jump into the green room and we'll come and talk to you at some point. See, and Bushman's lurking in there at the moment.
Yep. So one down, lots to go, hopefully.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers, toes, and eyes all crossed.
So did anyone see the Frontier live stream?
I haven't seen it yet.
I was a little busy.
I did.
Yeah.
I make a special point of watching it before every Hutton, just in case.
Good. Then you can tell us all about it.
You're going to have to tell us all about it, because I don't think we watched it.
Yeah, I normally would, but I forgot.
You kind of already summarised it. So the I think the news article went over the core modules of the Gutenberg Corsair, which was so looking at that's a lot of overlap with the Crate Mark II, because it's got the Class 7 power and Class 7 distributor, but with an extra weapon. So
is it not Class 7 thrusters as well?
Yes,
and Class nose cones it got
8. That's Class 8.
Yeah, that's a Class 8 nose cone. You know that. But yes, because Class 7 thrusters on a medium ship hasn't happened before, has it?
It has not happened before. It doesn't denote speed, like maximum speed necessarily, because the only difference between thruster classes is how much mass they can push. But I'm hoping. Well, I know we want to see at least as much as a Mamba. If it can match a Mamba, which is 642, it will be able to do so with higher mass, including weapons like a full combat loadout. Which when put on a normal Mamba will slow it down a bit.
Oh, that's good though.
But we don't know the actual speed yet. If it's more, that's brilliant. It'll be a frag machine. So we also
8th of April.
Go on. Yes, that's so 8th of April, which is the Tuesday after next. We know that it's going to have 2 seats. Hard points are going to be 3 large, 3 medium. So that's, like I said, a frag machine.
That outdoes the Python as well, doesn't it?
The Python has 3 large, 2 medium. Same as the Crate 2 also. The closest is the Python Mark II, which is 4 large, 2 medium. So it's very, very close to that.
I do want to raise a very important question here. And that is, do we know what it looks like on the inside? Is it going to be as swanky as all the other Guggenheim ships?
It's the cockpit. So the Courier, which has basically got a fighter cockpit. It's that. It's literally that.
Okay.
So if you it's a 2-seater. Yeah.
Is one behind the other, or are they side by side?
You just sit in the lap.
Looking. I suppose that depends on the commanders, but
how well do you know your co-pilot?
From the outside, it looks like it's going to be kind of one ahead and then a co-pilot behind them and up a bit, similar to how the Mamba works. Which, in fact, if you compare the Mamba to the Mandalay, how they've got incredibly similar cockpits, it's like that with the Corsair and the Courier.
Yeah, and it's the cockpit is like a bubble cockpit right up on top of the head, above the nose. If that makes any sense.
Must be a long way up then.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is. There's a lot of ships sitting underneath it. I'll say that.
And it's not going to mess with my chi by being slightly off center or something, is it?
It appears not. Like I said, it looks like a fighter cockpit where you're definitely in the middle.
Ooh, swanky. Nice.
And optionals, we got 3 class 6, 3 class 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So class 6 shield. We don't know if it can take an SLF. I mean, it really would.
Yeah, that would top it off, wouldn't it?
It really would.
But you can take a class 6 shield with that thing and plenty of armor on it.
This genuinely sounds like it could be a contender for the Python.
It does have the look about it as well. It's got sort of Romulan Bird of Prey look about it.
I mean, personally, I like the look. I like all Guggenheim ships. They all look sleek and streamlined, and I mean, I would probably prefer that over a Python appearance-wise. I'm not a big fan of the Python. See,
I like the Python.
I like the Python 2 looks more than the original Python. Definitely.
Looking at the module sizes, the original Python has 3 class 6 and 2 class 5 and smaller from there. So I think this even beats the original Python for cargo space.
I'd be interested
Not the
to see
type,
if you can put a size 5 shield on it, because you said 3 6s and 3 5s, didn't you?
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, I'd be surprised if you couldn't drop it to a size 5. You could probably even drop it to a 4. I mean, would you believe an Anaconda can take a class 3 shield?
Oh yeah, I know that.
You know what would be really nice to see as the next ship? Something big and clunky, not streamlined, not sports car-esque.
You need your Type 9 mining replacement that's even bigger and Type 9ier than the Type 9.
Exactly. I mean, look at what we've got so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all gorgeous ships, but we had the Crate, which is lovely and streamlined. We had the Mamba, lovely and streamlined. We had the Type.
The Type 8.
The Type 8. It was
it's
glorious.
Got something, yeah.
It looked fantastic, be the bull, as Buck says. It looks fantastic, but it still looks kind of streamlined, It looks fancy.
Yeah.
you give it a lick of paint, and make it look all fancy, and it can get away with being something that you could genuinely show off as a sports vehicle, maybe.
I would like to see some paint jobs that are a bit more industrial as well. I mean, I know they've got the fancy ones with the yellow and the black and white and the zigzaggy lines and all that. But I want to see something that's like, like a kind of faded red, but it's faded to a kind of pinky
You
colour,
know,
and it's
you
got
know
a
how
bit
they
rust down the bottom.
yeah, you know how they got the rust and it's like all rust and it's just too much rust.
Uh,
It'd be nice to see like industrial paint jobs like orange and yellow, but
yeah,
with rusted corners and rust,
yeah. That's the kind of thing
um
I'm thinking. Yeah,
Eh.
no,
somebody
that'd be cool.
somebody did it on one of the. You get those ship comparison videos on YouTube. Somebody did it on one of them, and they had like it was like a python. Yeah, it wasn't a python; it was an asp, and it was like a kind of faded, dirty blue color, and it rust along the panel lines and things like that. And it just looked a bit grotty. And I thought, do you know that would look lovely on the pad at Hutton? Because Hutton's all about being a bit grotty.
You want rusty and you just buy
Yeah.
a Lakon.
Lakon,
Like
Yeah,
shiny,
there's-
smooth.
Yeah.
Lakon's the best. I'm sorry, but I'm a big Lakon fan.
And the chat has a lot of love. So Baron von Noodle, big and chunky in a Bushman, flying brick. So it looks like
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of support for the big clunky miner that you like. So
Yeah, that's the aesthetic that I find pleasing.
Mm.
The mining vessel, the rig, as it were, proper trucker.
Yeah, something that looks like an oil rig, but an engine stuck in the back.
Yeah, like the Nostromo.
Yeah. Yeah. The Sulaco looked too sleek and military, but the Nostromo did just look like
A brick.
Yeah, it looked like they built a shuttle on the front of an oil rig or something.
Sorry, I've just completely derailed the conversation. Sorry, you can get back to talking
That's
about
okay, we went with
Gutamaya's
you.
newest. Yep. you can get back to talking about all the pros and cons of Gutamaya's newest edition.
Beautiful.
I mean, it does
ships.
look very fancy. Look at that nose.
Yeah. That's the Romulan bird of prey look. That's the bit.
That's a hell of a conch.
It really rather is. It may be that it tends to angle a bit forwards and the photographs are over-exaggerating it. It could be that it spikes down rather than Romans up. But we'll just have to see how it handles. And anyway,
Yeah.
if it's as good in combat as it sounds like it might be, anybody that laughs will regret it.
Well, they said they've done some stuff about the sliding as well. The sort of, shall we call it, drifting that happens with some of the Gutamaya ships.
yeah, well, they said it doesn't happen with the Clipper, and I understand that. So that's where what they were trying to keep.
Yeah.
The Clipper being, for all intents and purposes, a medium flying ship, even though it doesn't fit on a medium pad. So.
Yes.
It's just too good to hang around with the rest of the medium ships.
What was the kids' cartoon that used to be on back in the 70s?
Battle of the
80s?
Planets.
Battle of the Planets looks like that ship.
Yeah. Or
I do
G-Force
like-
anywhere outside of the UK.
Yeah.
I do like the white and gold paint job. That's very pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just look at where the cockpit is situated, and I feel like I would constantly be trying to look up over the nose. Because you see it's dipped. The cockpit is actually dipped down, and then the nose comes up a little bit again.
Yeah.
That's so you've got somewhere to rest your glasses.
I wonder what that one's going to be like. So I kind of want to see the cargo hatch. Like I want to see it open because if you try and
you're
scoop
dirty.
manually, because if you try and, or I was thinking, if you try and scoop cargo manually with that, it might just blonk on the end of the
Yeah,
nose.
yeah, you're going to have a lot of problems scooping cargo with it. When was the last time you scooped cargo, though?
I mean, it's not like how whole collector limpets.
Well, we limpet them now, don't we?
Yeah, we do tend. Even your limpets are going to have issues.
limpets.
Yeah, the only thing you ever need to scoop manually is the limpets that somebody drops for you because you've forgotten yours.
You can synthesize them.
It depends on what synthesization match you've got left.
For 4 at a time for 10 materials. Yeah.
I've been out in the black, and I've forgotten my limpets, And I've sat there for, I don't know, an hour synthesizing limpets.
As you do.
And then flown home to sell them.
Yeah.
If I could do the opposite, if I could buy that much materials for 101 credits each.
Well, when you're mine, you get them all. It's...
True. Yeah, they're not exactly rare and precious materials, are they, for limpets?
No, really easy to synthesize. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we move on, or does anyone want to say some more good things about the new hook-nosed Corsair?
Oh, no, I'll wait till it arrives before I can see. Anybody can buy it as well. You don't have to be a special Imperial military person to buy it.
Mm-hmm. As long as you've
That's
got
right,
arcs.
yeah. It's not... Yeah, it's not the Imperial... It's the Gutamaya Corsair, not the Imperial Corsair. Yeah.
They will sell it to the general public as well.
The speed... We need to know the speed.
Yes.
The speed is the big unknown, and that's I know the unique selling point was it's got class 7 thrusters on a medium, but the actual speed I cannot wait to see. If it's even matches the Mamba, it'll be amazing. So
yeah, because like you say, it's got a lot more guns, got a lot more carrying capacity and things like that as well.
Got a lot more nose.
It's got a much bigger nose.
The key when designing a ship is not to make other ships obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
It's to make it a class all of its own, make it something that, or even of a similar caliber to another class, so that people can choose, and significantly different in appearance.
Yeah.
So if this is on par with the Python, say, it would purely be down to aesthetics. What do you like the look of the most?
Yeah.
But take for example the Asp Scout. That's a redundant ship because nearly every other ship you choose is better than it.
Yeah. Although,
I think that
what I would say with the Asp Scout is, if you're willing to put a wee bit of engineering into it, it gets really, really manoeuvrable, and you get a decent jump range out of it. It's never going to be as good as the Asp Scout, but you've got a decent jump range out of it. So for kind of local travelling about. If you were scouting about looking for a system to colonise, maybe it would be great for that, with just a wee bit of engineering to the thrusters and things.
So I think the original Crate Mark II can still take a fighter hangar. The original Python may be at risk. I can't think of a reason to use the original Python instead of that. So instead of the Corsair.
I mean, if it's faster than the Mamba, wouldn't that also make the Mamba kind of obsolete?
The Mamba's a little bit different. Well, the Mamba has its weapons, so it's got 6 utilities, and I doubt this is going to have 6. It was probably going to have 4. We don't actually know that now that I think about it. Mamba's weapons loadout's also different. It's huge, large, small. So there are some differences there, I think.
I don't think it's going to be as fast as the Mamba.
Yeah,
not if
probably
not if it's going to be such a utilitarian ship.
Yeah, it's not combat focused, this one.
No.
Just combat very capable.
Yeah, well, I suppose I would, against the claim it's not combat focused, I'd probably answer it with the question, well, is the Crate Mark II combat focused? Because if that is, this one's got an extra gun on it, so...
The Crate Mark II is not combat focused, it's generic focused.
It's general purpose.
It's utilitarian.
Yeah. It's just I suppose that must be a fine line, though, because the Python Mark II has 4 large, 2 medium, and this one has 3 large, 3 medium. So it's the same number of weapons. It just loses 1 weapon class on 1 weapon.
Yeah.
Compared to the Python 2.
It just depends on manoeuvrability and how well the shields work as well, which again is a related function to mass. So.
Yeah, it's got the same class of shield, but I predict it won't have as much utility slots, so you won't be able to put as many shield boosters.
Yeah.
Is this the first Gurumaya ship that's not an Imperial ship?
Well, it's the first without Imperial in the name. The Imperial Eagle can be purchased without having Imperial rank, though. So.
Yeah, but it's tiny.
And it's still an Imperial Eagle.
And it's only got a small nose.
That's what I said. It is the first without Imperial in its name. Yeah.
And you don't need a rank.
Correct. You do not.
Just lots of money.
Yes.
We don't know the price. That's another good. That's the other thing we don't know. We don't know the speed and we don't know the price. Oh, and we don't know the utility mount numbers.
So really, there's a lot we don't know.
But apart from the speed and the price and the utility mount numbers, what's FDF ever done for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
So shall we move on?
Yeah, we probably should.
Let's.
See if I can turn this
Did we
thing
get
off
to the
now.
live stream yet?
That was the live stream, pretty much.
Oh, just the announcement of the ship.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they said.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good
Oh,
news.
well,
It's
there was
something to
some.
look
There was
forward
some. There was the system colonization statistics, where it was commanders. Yeah, because apparently we've colonized. Was it 26,000 systems? We've built 44,000 ports. That's outposts and starports. We've built 20-something thousand planetary ports.
I've commented how a lot of people seem to be making these sorts of links out. You know, I thought, we are.
Yeah, people are zooming off in all directions.
Yeah, they did comment about commanders building big daisy chains.
Yeah.
Just shows, though, all the people that were saying that this 15 light year range on it was going to be way too constrictive. It's not been.
Yeah, not when the minimum you need to produce one of those links is just an outpost, which one commander can do in not too much time. So.
Yeah, it is very, very possible to span out to wherever you want to get to within reasonable range. Just don't try and cross any dark regions or voids.
so what's all this stuff that's going on in Kokiri?
Kokiri, yes, we had a war.
Yeah.
We lost.
We lost.
We lost.
We never lose.
We lost. In
We
spite
never
of
lose.
in spite
Yeah,
of
we
2 or
did
3
this.
days in, the BGS team noticing that there was a war going on and we were losing, so they mobilised and rushed in there, but it felt like somebody was pushing on the other side. Now, we don't know who. We don't know whether it's EDF being the EDF and being arseholes and trying to take the system off us, or whether it's somebody completely unrelated that wanted to stir up trouble or have a dig at Hutton or whatever it might be. We don't know. So, I mean, we were joking earlier about picking on EDF and stuff, but yeah, of course you do, because they're the EDF, but that's different. But somebody was very actively fighting on their side, and either in private group or solo, because they never turned up in open, so we don't know who it was. So yeah, we lost the war. And then because somebody was actively pushing on the buttons and levers of the BGS, we plummeted from, 30-something% down to 18%, where we've met one of the other factions on the rise, and now we're pending another war, which will go live on the next tick tomorrow, I believe.
So in a Bushman, EDF claimed they communicated to their members not to fight this war. So
Yeah.
there's some rabble rousers. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I say, we were joking earlier about attacking EDF and things, but definitely not outside the system. Genuinely, legitimately, don't pick on them outside of Kokiri. In Kokiri, yeah, they're skyrocketing upwards because whoever's been pushing us down has been pushing them up. And we're going to have some climbing to do to get back to them to take the system back off them. So, yeah, anything that can be done in the meantime to slow their climb by promoting the 3 factions that aren't currently involved in wars or are the EDF will be helpful, because that's all influence stolen from somebody else in the system because it's a zero-sum game. So yeah, if you want to attack EDF allied vessels in the system, that will hurt them. Other than that, if you do missions or trading or all the other good stuff for the other 3 Kokiri factions that are there, obviously be careful where you drop data because it's the station owner that gets it, so check around and stuff, but everybody already knows that. And yeah, if you can help slow the painful drop or the horrendous rise that they're doing, that would be good. And we really need to win this war, so anybody that feels like a bit of shooty, please, go and do some shooty for Hutton in Kokiri. There's a war on, and your country needs you.
The war never changes.
Actually, it's more of your spaniel needs you. So.
Yes.
How's Van Marnen Star doing these days?
It's still surrounded by mad monks.
I think it's through the roof. Influence-wise, it's still through the roof. But I haven't checked in a wee while, actually.
That's kind of how I got dragged into this. It was that back when there was some troublemakers in Van Marnen's.
Yes.
Elite BGS. .app.
So, any more to add on the Kokiri War?
Not really.
Just everybody go to Kokiri and kill lots of things.
And do what you can to
our
help.
own people.
Yep, kill lots of things, win us the war. Oh, Commander Aiden says the war has started. Right, so Elite BGS was out of date then. Cool.
Yeah.
In that case, go as soon as the show finishes. But not before.
So ominous.
Way more important.
The war has started.
And to answer your other question, Van Marnen Star, we are currently on 94.35% influence.
That's pretty.
We've got a lot of systems that are like that.
That number is not 60.
No, it's well above 60.
Well, we're well clear of the 60s. We're not even within 10% of the 60s. We're fine. Yeah, the Sublime Order are in a close second place on 2.62%.
Are there any other factions in the system?
Yeah, there's 3 others on 1% each.
Yeah, it must be home system. They're probably, if they're not retreating, it must be just all home system.
Yeah, Van Marnen Star
anyone out there at
Organisation,
the moment?
Pirates of Van Marnen Star, and Freedom Party of Van Marnen Star. So they're all definitely VMS factions.
If there's anyone out there at the moment, Inner Bushman says he needs a wingman or a winged woman.
You wing person.
Wing person.
Yeah, well, when you need your enemy to be manhandled or woman-handled, that is true.
Yes.
So, do we have any space news?
Space news? Space news?
Space news.
Space news?
Space news?
Don't know. Do we have any space news?
Oh, let me have a look.
I know Volcarius said he's got some space facts.
Yeah, well, space facts are one thing, but they're not space. What they're not space news. Let me have a look. No, that's all.
It's a good thing we prepare all this in advance.
Yeah, it's a good thing, especially when you do mad stuff like me and shut the script down. Oh no, I haven't shut it down. Here it is. Talkie bits. La 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 la. Space facts. No, I don't think there's any space news.
Did nothing happen in space this week?
I don't think anything happened in space. I think it's been shut for a week.
I did know that they brought the astronauts back.
Oh yeah,
but you probably covered that last week.
Covered that
right?
last
We did.
Yeah. Did you see the pictures? They looked so bedraggled.
Yes.
You know, like they've been through a terrible ordeal.
Yeah.
Re-entry's quite rough. So suddenly being in 1G more gravity than you've been in for the last 9 months.
Yeah. Fly now, bastards.
On the slightly sad category of space news, as expected, the Blue Ghost lander has shut down because it's now night on the moon where it's landed. So that is unlikely to ever be heard from again.
Okay.
Because that was expected, but that was the mission plan, and it succeeded beautifully at everything it was meant to do. So if it wakes up when the sun comes up, that's a bonus, but nobody's really expecting it.
Wasn't that the one with the solar panels in the dirt?
No, that was the other one. That was the Athena.
Okay, so it has some, yeah.
That landed on the edge of a crater and fell over.
Oh no! Did it fall over into the crater?
They think so, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
As opposed to their previous lander, which just landed so hard it broke a leg and fell over. So they're getting better. Didn't break a leg this time. It just fell over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's something.
But hey, space is hard. It actually is rocket science.
Yes, it's genuine rocket science.
So that's it for space news.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it for space news.
Naughty Body Wash says there's a partial solar eclipse coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there is, yeah. I remember reading that.
Is it going to be visible in the UK, or will it just be clouded over?
Yeah, it's partial, of course, but it's on Saturday, I believe, starting around about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that'll be good.
That's nice.
So there is. Let's see
Great,
if I can
that's
get
another
that on
event
stream.
I can miss.
I'll see if I can find the picture. So
You'll hardly notice that in Glasgow.
You'll hardly notice that in Glasgow. Nobody's up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, everybody's up at 10 o'clock in the morning, but it'll just be a different shade of grey.
So should we have space facts then?
Excuse me.
We're still doing space
you
news
found-
here.
You found space news.
No. What happened? I can't do it myself. I need you under.
do we have a word of the week?
Yes, we do have a word of the
Wait a
week.
minute,
Felicity.
I thought Volcarius' space facts were before word of the week.
No, it's Volcarius'
No.
bit. It's Volcarius' bit, and then under it is Space Fact of the Week.
I think
Okay,
that's
so-
if a Thargoid is misbehaving, then I think that may be the case.
Yes.
So do we have a word of the week?
We do have a word of the week. As I just told Flossie, you should have been listening.
I
Word
know,
of the week
sorry,
this week
Flossie.
is vociferous.
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 And what does that mean?
It means expressing or characterised by vehement opinions, loud
Vehement,
and forceful.
loud and forceful. A bit
Yes.
like you.
Yeah, loud anyway.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Yes, I can. The people of Hutton were vociferous in their opposition to plans for building a large pad at the station.
And I am going to put it up on our headline so that everyone can get the spelling and the meaning.
Hooray!
And completely ignore the headline that was ticker taping across at the beginning of the show because they forgot to reset it last week when I wasn't here.
Sounds about right.
So
We just can't manage without you. That's all there is to it.
We just can't manage.
Well, I think we're proving that admirably.
Yes.
So wait a minute. Now we got space facts. Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Space
Do we have a-
farts.
Do we have a jingle?
We
There
might,
should be.
if I can find one.
Space facts, lots of space facts. What do you know that you need to know? Think from Hutton straight to your brain. Being from Hutton straight to your brain. Being from Hutton straight to your brain.
Welcome to Space Facts, in which, following the end of last week's show and a wealth of brainstormed ideas, we proceed to shelve them for now and proceed with something actually topical to the weekly news. The Hutton Weekly News, that is. It's not as if Galnet actually posts regular updates, even if they did name drop Leland 25224. In any case, this week's topic is neutron stars, and we have 5 fabulous facts to make your head spin. Unless you live on the Lantern Light starport, though, in which case your head is already spinning more vigorously than a Viper Mark III smacked by a Class 4 cannon with force shell. Fact number 1. Neutron stars were first detected in 1967 by observing their radio emissions as strange regular pulses, which astronomers thought originally may have been extraterrestrial life. These radio pulses These radio pulses earned them their original title, which was pulsar, and the designation PSR can still be seen today on many neutron stars in the official Universal Cartographics maps.
I'm not saying it's
first
aliens, but it's aliens.
You're foreshadowing. Stop foreshadowing. The
Thargoids.
first pulsar was designated PSR B1919+21 at the time, although for any commanders looking to pay it a visit, 34th century maps call it LGM-1, which stands for Little Green Men. Fact number 2. The reason that neutron stars emit these regular pulses is that they spin violently. The slowest spins are a bit slower than 1 Hertz, which is already super fast for a star, while the fastest are over 100 Hertz. The detectable radiation is emitted as beams from the magnetic poles, spanning the spectrum of visible light, radio, X-rays, and gamma rays, and their penchant to spin waves... their penchant to spin waves the radiation across space, just like a lighthouse. Some say that if a commander with a fuel scoop flies through it, it supercharges the frameshift drive. Nobody actually has module space for a fuel scoop, though, so alas, this point remains unconfirmed. Fact number 3. Neutron stars are ridiculously heavy. If you recall last week's space facts, you may remember that neutron stars begin at 1.4 solar masses, where gravity is high enough to collapse them. All that mass gets compacted into a tiny volume only around 22 kilometers in diameter, but with an inner density varying around 370 to 590 exagrams per cubic meter. A single Hutton mug filled with average neutron star matter would weigh around 168 petagrams, which is well over 85 million imperial cutters.
What's that in tons?
Well, a stock imperial cutter is just under 2,000 tons. So if you multiply about 1,936, I think, thereabouts, by 85,365,854, that's your answer.
That's
That's
a lot
really
of
heavy.
Go on.
That's a lot of capybaras.
Full of
bananas.
How many bananas can an imperial cutter? Oh no, you wouldn't be seen. No cutter pilot would be seen with bananas. That's not possible. Fact number 4. Just like normal stars, even neutron stars have an upper limit on their mass before they too collapse. Their range begins at the Chandrasekhar limit of 1.4 solar masses, but above 3 solar masses, they implode and become black holes instead. Fact number 5. Neutron stars form only 0.26% of the Milky Way galaxy, which means there are only around 1 billion of them. As galactic population goes, that's pretty low. So if you want your name on one of them, best get the Brewer Corporation colony fleet out there sooner rather than later. And that's it.
Space facts, lots of space facts that everyone did know they need to know. Think from Hutton straight to your brain. Beam from Hutton straight to your brain. Beam from Hutton straight to your brain.
So, 2 things. First of all, Naughty Body Wash says, and they're still not as heavy as fruitcake.
Could be.
Second,
Fruitcake is quite dense, especially if it's got like those really heavy cherries in it.
currants. Yeah. We mentioned aliens earlier, and I have a question. Who came up with the name Thargoid? Because they didn't name themselves that because we can't communicate with them and we
Kenny
can't
Everett.
understand them. What?
Kenny Everett. The Kenny Everett
Everett.
television show, 1970s. He was a comedian. Captain
Yeah.
Kremen's radio show.
He came up with the name Thargoids.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That should have been a space fact.
Well, if you'd given us a
That's
chance,
a
we could have
space
had an
fact.
entire space fact about it next week. But
Should
you've kind of spoiled it now.
Should it have been a space fact about neutron stars, though?
Only if the Thargoids were the little green men that they were referring to.
So, wait a minute, what's the story behind it?
It
The
was
name Thargoid. I
ahead.
looked it up, by the way. So the name Thargoid for the alien race originated from human pilots who encountered these mysterious beings. In 3125, pilots reported being pulled from witch space and attacked by octagonal starships that were exceptionally fast and maneuverable. The witnesses who survived these encounters were convinced they had encountered extraterrestrials and dubbed them Thargoids. Oh, I guess they just made it up then.
Yeah. Not like
So-
Kenny Everett.
What did Kenny Everett do that was...
one of his TV show characters was a space captain called Captain Kremen. Totally not based on Captain Kirk in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And the bad guy alien race that he regularly fought was called the Thargoids.
Did they not have a woman on it with a green dress called Carla who's 6 boobs or something as well?
Something like that, yeah. That
Yeah,
was
just so-
that
just
was
so
pretty
you get
much
a
Kenny
feel for
Everett
it.
through and through.
Yeah,
He was the one that had characters like Cupid Stunt,
yeah.
which was always done in the best possible taste.
Yes.
Look him up on YouTube later.
No, I remember Kenny Everett.
Yeah, Gizzard Puke was another one.
Yeah,
The best
just,
possible taste.
that's the
Yes.
one.
I just, it's been a while since I heard that name.
Yeah. So yeah, we can only guess that the good Mr. Braben was a fan, and when he came to needing an alien race that was named by the pilots in his environment, that one came to mind.
Yeah.
Of all the thousands of Thunerisms, he had to choose that one, didn't he?
When he was being interviewed in character as Cupid by Michael Parkinson, Parky said that he couldn't possibly just refer to Kenny as Cupid, but he wanted to know what the full name was. And of course, Cupid's really easy to say without getting it wrong. But once you know that the full name is Cupid Stunt, it becomes an awful lot more difficult to say on live television.
Yes, easy to make a mistake.
And Parky struggled with it.
Yes.
And once
But
once you start into the word stew, it's very difficult to correct.
Yes. But to be fair, it was all done in the best possible taste.
Yes, it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are we at Flossie's bit?
Yes, I believe we are. So now I need to find that
Right.
button, don't I? Wonder which tune we'll get.
It's Flossie. It's Flossie. It's Flossie. It's Flossie. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossie here with this week's CG News. Still no CGs this week, I'm afraid. But a different event is due to start on Sunday, the 30th of March, this coming Sunday. Distant Worlds 3 pre-event, The Shoulder of Orion. Fellow pilots, for a community event as big as Distant Worlds Expedition, we want to make sure you, as the adventurous players that you are, acquaint yourselves with fellow rovers, gallivanters and entrepreneurs old and new. It's been, 6 years? So let's get to know each other, and this time, sky isn't necessarily the limit. On the contrary, for a number of years, we also learned with big eyes and open mouths, or the other way around, that with each planetary landing there is a whole world beneath our feet, worth exploring, and now worth taking. You just need to put your boots on the ground and have a pocket full of CMMs. As part of our multi-event schedule this year, we are happy to announce our first Distant Worlds 3 pre-event, The Shoulder of Orion. The goal is to establish an expedition launch site far outside the bubble, in the general direction of the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex, OMC. We will do this using the unique colonisation mechanics the Trailblazers update made available. This is going to be the foundational step for DW3, an opportunity for explorers to contribute to the creation of a colony site beyond bubble borders, which will serve as a departure point for the Distant Worlds 3 expedition next year. Ex nihilo ad astra, from nothingness to the stars. In other words, the DW3 expedition will begin at the very place we create together. So let's make it happen. This initiative will begin on Sunday, 30th of March, and run from 1300 until 2100 UTC. That's game time as the clocks go forward on Sunday. The start location for our colonisation efforts will be given shortly, and we will aim to construct a chain of outposts in suitable locations. Sounds great? Fine, here's what you need to do and to consider. All coordination and communication will be handled at the FleetCom Discord. The event will last for 1 month, after which we'll assess the progress made and decide whether to extend the project for another month. All participants will receive a special mention on the DW3 fleet roster, provided you register under the same commander name for this colonisation initiative and the DW3 fleet roster itself, which opens in May. Reminder, the official sign-up for the DW3 expedition will begin in May. Your registration for the Shoulder of Orion will not be transferred to the later fleet roster. Different pair of shoes. And it gives you a link where you can sign up, which is now being pasted into the chat. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossie told you what to do.
I guess technically, though, there were no CGs, which means
No.
that we should be playing the other song.
Wow.
I mean, we
I do like.
did threaten that we would play it every week until they gave us CGs back, so here we go.
No CGs this week, what can I say? Flossie's got no tasks, no work, no play. The galaxy's calm, no goals in sight. Just sit back and relax, everything's alright. No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do. Flossie's got no news, it's all up to you. So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you. No calls for trucks, no missions to bring. Not a single thing, not a single ping. The stars are quiet, the stations too. Guess it's time to chill, nothing's on cue. No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do. Flossie's got no news, it's all up to you. So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you. No calls for trucks, no missions to bring. Not a single thing, not a single ping. The stars are quiet, the stations too. Guess it's time to chill, nothing's on cue. No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do. Flossie's got no news, it's all up to you. So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you.
Yep, that song's going to get played every week until they give us regular CGs again. It's just too good not to, and we've got a good excuse for it. But now, off the back of that, it's time for some Galnet news. So everybody get prepared for some good digestion.
Galnet News Update, 26th of March, 3311. Gutermeyer plans to launch its new rocket ship, the Corsair, on Tuesday the 8th of April. and it's promising something that will make both its own clipper and the Falcon de Lacy Python into yesterday's news. The Corsair is a successor to the Clipper, but it beats that ship's capabilities in many ways. For a start, it will be the only medium ship with size 7 thrusters. If you thought the Clipper was fast, the Corsair will make you think again. Gutermeyer promises the ship will handle like a dream with none of the drift of the larger ships in its portfolio. The Empire has far too many barons, so unlike the Clipper, the Corsair will be available to everyone, regardless of their rank in the Imperial Reserve Navy. And did we mention, it's a medium ship. While the Clipper is restricted to major starports, the Corsair will be equally at home in pirate outposts and in the Imperial starports of Akinar. It's not just better than the Clipper though. Gutermeyer thinks their new ship will out-Python the Python Mark I multi-role ship with better cargo, firepower and jump range than the classic all-rounder medium ship. Specifically, it has around 280 tons of cargo capacity, or a maximum of 318 if you want to live dangerously and without shields. It has 3 large and 3 medium hardpoints, all mounted within the body of the ship for excellent convergence. It has a size 5 frameshift drive, but Gutermeyer promises it will outperform the Python on range, and it's optimised for supercruise overcharge. If you were worried about how the Corsair will power those huge thrusters, all those hardpoints, we have good news. The ship has a size 7 power plant and a size 7 distributor for fast delivery of the power you need when you need it. Life support is size 5. Sensors are size 6 and the fuel tank is a respectable size 5. The optional internals are 3 size 6s, 3 size 5s and 1 of each of size 4, 3, 2 and 1. That's a lot of scope for building your ship the way you want it. It sounds like the Gutermeyer Corsair will be excellent for combat and exploration as well as trade, and they promise that its flight characteristics will make it perfect for canyon runs. Gutermeyer has not announced whether the ship will have a fighter bay, which leads us to suspect it has not. This new 2-seat, medium, all-round rocket ship with the size 7 thrusters, 6 hardpoints, loads of space for cargo and the look of a disdainful Raptor will be made available in early access for ARCs in less than 2 weeks on the 8th of April.
So there's Witherspoon and Beetlejude's digestion of the story we did earlier. Oh,
I
well,
gotta
they did it
admit,
better.
seeing the Corsair in motion, seeing, you know, it's such a difference seeing a video of a ship rather than an image of a ship.
Yeah.
And it looks a whole lot better, in my opinion, than the images. The images didn't do it justice. It's a very, very pretty ship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do have a couple of videos of it, but I wasn't sure whether I was allowed to use them or not. I didn't have time to check before the show, so I thought the images I knew were safe. The videos I wasn't so certain, so they didn't get shown.
And
yeah,
you know, the inside, we got to see the inside of the cockpit as well, which is lovely and open, which I do like in a cockpit.
Yes.
I mean, it's not Lakon open, but it's open. You know, it's decently open for a non-Lakon ship.
It's not Glass Cathedral. It's more fighter jet bubble.
Yeah.
It's a courier.
Or pustule, depending on how you want to call it.
See, I can't help it, but if I look down, I want to see the asteroids beneath me that I'm about to mine.
Yep.
I want to see the asteroids beneath me that I'm about to
we'd
crash
see there
into,
is-
which is similar but different.
What we'd see there is fly upside down.
Yeah, but then they're not beneath you anymore, and then you're constantly wondering what's beneath you.
Yeah.
So just
But, you know.
spin. Get up to
But then you'd be just spinning constantly.
Yeah, but if you get up to neutron star spin speed, you'll be able to see everywhere at least 300 times a second. So
Yeah, it'd be fine.
It'll all be just a blur, though.
Just blink quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a system.
Spin and blink, spin and blink, spin and blink.
No! Oh, dear.
So are we at that time of the show?
Yeah, I
About
don't think we
that
can
thing,
avoid
sure.
it anymore, can we? We need to.
God.
We need to drag the people in the green room up here and
You
see
say
what they've been
people.
doing.
I found that bit about the eclipse, which I've just pasted in.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Well,
Nice.
there's a good excuse. We can waste an extra few seconds on that then.
Yay!
So Saturday morning, 29th of March, there'll be a partial eclipse of the sun visible from the UK,
Yay!
Anywhere in the UK?
somewhere in the UK.
Anywhere in the UK where it's not clouded over and grey.
The picture that's on that site does show the whole UK.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it.
I love
Yeah,
that
it's
little.
got Scotland,
I love that
it's got
little-
Southwest.
I love that little safety tip you put in there. Never look at the sun directly, even during an eclipse.
Yes. Or even at night.
If you're looking at the sun directly at night, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
There is definitely
well, yeah,
something
you don't
wrong
look
there.
at the sun directly. You
Well,
never look at the sun directly.
To be fair, technically, I guess that if you're at the North Pole in summer or the South Pole in Northern Hemisphere winter,
Or if you're in a system with two suns.
Yes.
then you're doing something very, very right, which is different
well.
entirely.
No, that's different again because they're not suns, they're stars.
Sun, star, star, sun. I've just dropped
So-
that link into chat for anybody
Yes.
that wants to see how much of an eclipse there will be in various parts of places.
Oh, that's good.
Mm.
And the answer is that even in North Britain, you will see a significant chunk
Way.
chopped off. It'll be even darker than it usually is dark.
Awesome. That's what we need. More darkness.
And the timing
not nearly
is...
grim enough.
Yeah, it's between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, basically.
Okay.
Depending on where you are, it varies by a few minutes for east-westiness, but...
Yeah, we'll look out for that. That'll be good. Right, is there anybody actually in the green room?
There's two of them.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Aidan and
What?
Inner Bushman.
Aidan and Inner Bushman. What are they about? Right.
Can't find the green room now. Right, I shall drag them up here. So, hold please.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Greetings!
Is it just me, or does everyone else do a little dance when you get that elevator music on?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Elevator music?
Oh, you never heard the elevator music? We had elevator music while you were being... Yeah.
Oh no, I heard the elevator music. I just ignored its existence.
So you didn't dance?
It could. I mean, that could be elevator stroke supermarket music.
Right. We have a list of people for a list of talkables.
Do you know?
It starts with Mia to Inner Bushman.
Hello, Inner Bushman. What have you been doing?
Hello, hello. I'm reporting directly from the combat zone in
Oh!
Kokari.
Nice.
Yay!
Yay!
Right
There's a
now,
war.
as we speak, I'm kind of getting pummeled by the Spec Ops. That's why I would need really some help from
Yes.
a wingman right now.
That's very rude of them to do that to you.
Yes, that's very rude. How dare they shoot at me
Do
while
they
I'm
not
trying
know
to
who
kill
you
them?
are? Do they
Come again?
not know who you are? That's so rude.
Yes, that is very rude.
Yes.
Unfortunately, any effort I've put so far to Kokari hasn't paid off because, as you already said, the war
Yeah.
has been lost.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Oh, this is now
Hopefully
the
we can
second
get
war,
more.
so...
Yeah, I'm fighting in the second one.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get more people organized.
Yeah, at least you'll be able,
And-
at least you'll be able to tell the EDF ships because you'll be able to smell them.
Yes,
Even
they,
in space.
they stink a lot.
Yes. Yes. Even in space, they still stink.
Yeah,
Ah, dear.
even without my sensor, I can still point at them and shoot them.
Oh yeah, you'll know where they are, all right. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god. So you've been just fighting wars then, is what you've been doing.
Yep.
Wow.
And between the wars, I was trying to like, kill as many of them as I could. Unfortunately, that did not.
No, okay. All right then. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, my notoriety went up to 10.
Ooh.
I had to leave my game overnight to let it dissipate.
I was going to say, do you get a special prize for getting to 10? Obviously, you do.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's quite scary.
Okay, I think this battle is a lost cause because I'm almost dead.
Yeah, but only almost dead. You're still actually alive.
Yeah, but if I had a wingman, he could have keep up the
For
instance
Yeah.
for me, and I could go to repair and come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
Do we have any volunteers for a wingman? Maybe Aiden.
Well, unfortunately, I'd have to go and get my Corvette.
I can.
And
I can.
It'll
I can
take
arrive.
a while.
I can arrive in a Mandalay.
Does it have any weapons on it?
Nope.
What is it?
Nope.
Nope.
Is
So
it
you're,
in the
so you're
ground,
gonna go.
Caesar?
So you're gonna work as a decoy, right?
There are ground
you can always
combat
ram.
zones, but they're only mediums.
No. Well, I suppose better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of them already.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can do.
How good is a Mandalay at ramming?
No.
It's not.
Just no.
Technically, it's pointy, but I don't think it's a good
Ooh.
stabber.
do you know what I was thinking? The new ship, the Corsair, that's going to be good for ramming.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got a massive head
and that's pointy.
and it's
AF.
pointy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can stick the nose in for the top and open it like a can opener.
It kind of looks like a can opener.
Yeah, it does.
You know the old style.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly the ones you mean, and yes, it does.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So, anything else going on?
Yeah, we're still trying to work out how the highway is gonna work, because right now the idea was to find some decent system outside of the colonized space and head towards it. But unfortunately, that turned out to be a little bit hard.
Ambitious.
No, maybe not ambitious, but rather hard, because the colonized space front is moving faster than we are.
Oh, all right then. That's quite scary.
Yeah, so getting to empty space could turn out almost impossible at this pace.
Yes.
Yeah, we would need at least twice as many commanders working on the highway actively and not tending to their own systems like we do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Ah, dear. Well, it sounds like you get your hands full there.
And also, it would be fine if someone could scout ahead for good systems, because all my scouting has been already taken.
Yeah. See, I was kind of hoping for I did do a wee bit of looking around for a system to colonise, but I kept getting into systems with no planets. And going, oh, that one's not been colonised, and then you find out why it's not been colonised.
Yeah. I'm scouting for anything that has at least 10 of each slot, so it's usable for a commander later.
Yeah.
And not just a burden in their inventory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like that once somewhere. And I can do a few ground bases and things like that as well, you know.
Yeah. And so that the economy can actually produce something. And speaking of economy, I'm really disappointed with Frontier that they did not communicate that earlier. That you actually have to build the facilities in the same orbit as the station, in the same on the same planet, in the same orbit. One body. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not connected for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought it was. Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll see, but they said I will take the feedback. Hopefully, the feedback is that if it's in the system, it should count.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're trying to find ways for all the parts of the system to count. So, yeah, look, looking at it.
Volcarius just joined me.
I'm going to try and keep your area alive. Get to the port and rearm as quick as you can.
I already did.
Excellent.
I had to ditch the conflict zone because I was dead.
Oh, okay.
Almost dead. So you
Okay,
can
yeah, I was,
you can
I
go
was hoping,
you can go directly to the medium one.
Right. Shall we let you guys get on with it then and move on?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to say the magic words.
For the mag.
For the mug.
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 Hello, Aidan.
Hello, Amelia.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good, but it's not about me right now. This is about you. What have you been up to? Hello?
No, I love the sounds of that.
I had to remember I was back on push to talk rather than on
of course.
Which is, mildly irksome, but such is life. But yeah, no, just doing, having a system. I've just been going, right, okay, I need to build a few things here.
Mhm.
And now I've got to the stage whereby I can actually build a planetary port, and then that's going to be taking a while. Even if I do happen to have a refinery hub on the same planet, it's still going to take a fucking age.
Well, that's the point, though, isn't it? You're building something great and permanent, So, it should take effort. And it's an achievement when you've done it.
Yeah, but it's also useless. With the current, how it's work, the economies.
Yeah, but you still get bragging rights.
But yeah,
Right.
I mean, the current cunning plan is that given that I actually have a refinery literally within, I think it's a million meters or two
Mhm.
of the planetary port. When it is up and running, then I will have my own refinery port that I can get stuff from.
Nice.
And that can be and one that isn't on a 2G planet as well.
How long do you reckon it'll be before you have it up and running?
If it's just me, it'll be a while, because it certainly won't be before the end of April. Because at least 2 weeks of April, I won't be in London to do stuff.
That's not that long. It's only a month.
No. It won't be finished by the end of April. I'll be very lucky if it's just me. I'll be very lucky if it's finished by the end of June.
That's still only a few months.
When you consider that I've managed in the time since colonization started, I've managed to build one of the large Odyssey bases, 2 refinery hubs, 2 small agricultural hubs, a system security point, a system relay, a communication station, and a governance hub.
So you're carving out your own little space in the universe.
Yeah, and those didn't, I managed to do those fairly quickly. Well, comparatively quickly.
Yes, comparatively, the tier 1 and tier 2 are super easy.
Yeah, and getting this up and running, the issue is not going to be getting the titanium and all that lot. That's not going to be the issue.
What is going to be the issue?
Is going to be getting the CMM composites.
Are they actually that difficult right now? Because from what I've seen, there have been a large increase in availability in the supply.
Oh yeah, the availability's there. but the nearest planet,
Yeah?
nearest port with enough is that 2G planet that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, right.
Oh, those
So-
others, I'm sure.
So landing with the T9 is a little bit tricky.
Whereby I even if I take my cutter, I'm definitely not taking it. It's going to be shielded, because otherwise
Bonk.
I'm going to get a little dinged.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to mean it takes even longer.
Naughty Body Wash has a point. The Trailblazer megaships, from the previous CG, is any of those close enough? Because apparently those should have CMMs.
I had a look at the one in Minerva, which is comparatively close. Nothing.
They already emptied it out?
Possibly.
It's empty as soon as it came out last week. Presume it's been restocked since, but I think
It was.
just
Yeah.
keeps getting emptied.
I think it was to be expected. I think they are the only orbital source of CMMs. Everything else is just planet side.
Yeah, and everybody knows that there'll be a source of CMMs. You don't need to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why, I've got all the other bits and bobs. It's just going to be a case of slowly getting the titanium and the aluminium and the steel.
Right.
And even at $7.94 a time, you're still looking at quite it's, I think, what, 40,000+ for each. So it's going to take a while.
But you'll get there. Positive thinking.
Body Wash says
Yeah,
that
I'll get
Trailblazer
there.
Star's got 194k CMMs at the moment. So it might be worth rechecking.
Yeah, but it's one of the
Happy
things
thoughts.
on the list of things to have a look at eventually. But right now, I think I should I'll be going back to Kokari to blow stuff up.
Good choice.
I'll be waiting for you.
So you're building your outpost.
It's a planetary port. It's one of these
Sorry,
biggies.
port. Yeah, sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
it's a tier 3 one. Very expensive.
So you're building your planetary port, and you're going to be fighting in Kokari. Is there anything else you've been doing lately?
Not especially.
Okay. I have a question that is not Elite Dangerous related.
Okay.
Have you been TTRPGing lately?
No.
No, why not?
Largely because my GM, between my GM going on holiday and me going elsewhere for training,
It's just not been viable. You got to push to talk, remember?
oh, wrong button. Yeah, I thought I was pushing the right button, but it was one to the right of the one I needed to push.
Seamless.
But yeah, it's been a case of GM and player availability that have been the issue. Because, well, there's 3 of us now.
Did you only have a group of 3?
No, we had a group of 4. But then one of the group, he had a permanent engagement elsewhere.
So, what were you playing?
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui.
Really? Was what we were playing before the GM moved on.
If I get any Traveller games up and running, or Call of Cthulhu, or Alien Sons, would you be interested? If we get a spot
Yeah,
available.
yeah. I mean, certainly, I tend more towards the non-horror side of things.
Okay.
But I mean, because certainly the last game, that we played that was good fun, was Feng Shui.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, what was it? We tried Spire, and whilst it was an interesting world, a bit bleak, a bit hopeless, and a bit dark.
Right.
And as I said to the guys, look, if I want to get depressed, I'll just go into the office.
Turn the news
Well,
on.
I play mostly sci-fi.
Oh, sci-fi's not a problem.
So like Traveller, Alien Sons, things like that. But actually, no, Alien Sons isn't even out yet. Sorry, we've been playtesting that. But I play about 4 games a week. So if a spot opens up, do you want me to give you a buzz?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
I, can't always guarantee that I will be available, but I will, depending on timings and all that lot. But I will certainly try.
Okie dokie. So anything else you want to let us know about?
About the only tabletop RPG I'd really love to give a try is the Aliens RPG from ages
Do you know
ago.
they've got a Kickstarter out for another Aliens RPG that's coming out? Because of the new Romulus movie. I thought you don't like horror.
No, but then again,
Aliens RPG wasn't horror. That was extreme
RPG.
violence, sci-fi Space Marines.
Yeah, it was.
This is the Leading Edge Games one, yeah, from like the 90s, noughties.
Yeah, something like that. It was, whereby yes, it was, but you were basically playing a colonial marine.
Yep.
And it could be anything. At which point it just sort of looked like lots of fun.
It was.
I never really got to play it.
Oh.
Either that or classic version Trinity. So, Aeon Trinity, as it were.
I think we played that game as well, and the only issue I had was you could never really get your skills high enough to be effective.
So, I am going to put a link in the chat to the current Aliens RPG Kickstarter, because we've mentioned it now.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can take a look at the new Alien role-playing game that's coming out, if you fancy.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
I was thinking about investing in it through the Kickstarter. It does look really good. Maybe we should get a Hutton game going.
I think it's safe to say they've made their target.
Yeah.
How much have they exceeded it by?
They've made 1.2 million of their 38,000 requirement.
Yeah.
They might have made a few stretch goals then. Maybe.
Enough stretching to make their eyes bug, I think.
Yes. But I'll have a look at that. Because if that is your built on the... Because the thing I liked about the old Aliens RPG was you were playing in that world rather than let's go off. Is it let's go off and have a bug hunt?
Yeah, it was the universe.
It was the universe that was fun because you had the option there, and yes, you might end up facing off against xenomorphs and potentially having a very interesting time. But
and it might have just been a down transmitter and you had to rescue some juicy colonists' daughter. No, we all know the line.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to jump off here, but
anyway,
I'll catch you later on.
All right, see you later, Mia.
Bye.
Okay, see you, Mia.
Anyway,
bye.
Bye, Amelia.
Yep, sorry, we're digressing now. So,
but anyway, I think I will for the mug and speak to people anon.
Mooncake says for the mug.
Right, so that's Flossie to
Oh,
Vulcarius.
Yeah. Hi, Vocarius. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good
Quite
evening.
well. And another week, another set of Quest controller batteries. So pretty well. I think it's having an effect. I think I may have to punch a extra hole in my belt to make it slightly tighter. So I think that's quite good.
No, sir. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, I was quite pleased. I know I kind of shared them at the end of the after the show last week, but I've been doing a fair bit of Expert Plus on the Beat Saber. I've done the Cathedral. I've done the I never thought I would get close to doing the Master, but apparently,
I like the Master, but I only do it in normal.
yeah,
All of them in
it's
normal.
something kind of clicks. So like, when you get up to kind of expert level, you're still. You've got the alternation down, but you're still kind of learning patterns. You're still going through the
don't think I'll
entire
ever
library
learn
on expert. Whereas the expert plus way is like a slightly different way of thinking. Although I think the patterns which are still really, really difficult to get right are when they're like what's called linear blocks, when they're all in the same line. There are some lower level maps where you get like double hits, like down up. On Expert Plus, you get multicolor versions of that. So you have to forget about the fact they're in a line. Just say, right, blue does this, orange does this, and then just pretend like they're not overlapping on each other, and it just works out. So
I don't know. I just sometimes I get the colours mixed up, or sometimes if I think about, I'm not going to miss any this time, I start missing them. I'm going to get. I'm going to get through. If I get through this and I'm going to do a full combo, and then within seconds I miss one.
I threw away any notion of. I have done full combo in the past on like hard to expert, but I have never done one for the set. I've kind of the pattern recognition and like building that kind of skill to it is I've thrown away proper aim, like proper accurate aiming. So it's kind of a problem actually. I'm hoping I'm gonna bring it to ECM with a projector.
Oh right.
So everyone will be able to see.
I'm bringing my Oculus, but
yeah. It's got a ton of custom maps on it, so if for anyone who's already done all the Beat Saber maps ages ago, it should have something new. And obviously, if anyone hasn't tried it, then they're absolutely welcome to play around with it, or any other games I've got on the thing, I suppose.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
sorry, that you were talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, it should have the. I'm still fiddling with Dreams of Mandalay, but it's going to be done by ECM. So there's going to be a Mandalay song for commanders to enjoy.
The
I'm gonna if Commander Ascorbius hasn't done the bloody song I made for him by the time he's gonna do it at ECM. I'm gonna make him. He's gonna do his song at ECM. So. Yeah, and alongside that, I made a in the quest to make a Sudoku puzzle generator as part of my part of my game. In effect, I've made a Sudoku solver program. But it's a solver / generator, which it's quite comprehensive, and it'll produce things it understands how to solve, and could even print out a solve path if you need to. So.
Right.
So if I use that, I don't think there's anything quite like the way I've done it. I know a lot of phone apps cheat. They've got like a database of 100 grids that they just translate around. But these are genuinely generated, so they'll be unique puzzles. That should go into Shoko Hydro, the my little cube game, which is based on Sudoku, and it's got a Sudoku mode. So
yeah. Oh, I'll try that again if I did get past the first thing. Right. So,
I haven't built any ports. I've helped other commanders build ports.
yeah.
It's not really my thing. And I am also supposed to be joining in a Bushman. So until I have to interview someone, I'll say for the mug.
Okay, Father Mug.
Well, it's meant to be me to Mia next, but she's snuck out. So I'll do the one that Mia was meant to be doing later, and I'll talk to Amelia. Amelia, how are you
Hi.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, but it's not about me.
Yeah, I have not been doing anything lately, aside from what you already know. Gaming wise, I have been kind of stagnating in the and even Mooncake agrees with me. I should really get my bum in gear and game more. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mooncake agrees.
Yep. So I'm gonna skip past my bit and just say for the mug.
For the mug? In that case, it's your turn to talk to Flossie.
Hi, Flossie.
Hi, Amelia.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What you been up to?
Oh, well, I've done a lot of the colonisation, building. Currently working on Apollo thingy, Orbis. So that's taken a lot of doing.
Yeah.
I got most of the small items, but I'm now working on the things that need bigger amounts of. So do a lot of backwards and forward. But I'm not in a rush. I'm just if I get fed up of it, I go and do something else.
That's the main thing, I think.
It's going to take ages to do this one.
Yeah.
Unless I can get any help from anyone. But on my own, as I am most of the time, it's taking quite a while. So, like last week, I went off and did some fighting somewhere in a combat zone, on ground combat zone. Of course, I can't do the air ones. So that was quite fun. Actually, I haven't been in Warcraft lately. I haven't touched that for weeks.
No? Well, you got the new season up now, season 2.
Yeah. I keep seeing things about it in Facebook. I think, I'll have to get back in there. But
to be honest, I haven't either. So, you're not alone.
Oh, well. Got a lot of catching up to do when I get there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, what else? Have I done anything else? Oh, a lot of cross-stitch. No cross-eyed or a cross-stitch. Yeah,
Sandrine started doing, what is it? The one where there's like tiny needles involved. Was it crocheting?
All right.
I'm not savvy on what it all is, but she's making Mooncake a blanket currently.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've done some crochet in the past.
Is cross stitch similar or?
Cross stitch? Well, it's more sort of embroidery. But everything's done in crosses.
Right.
Yeah. So I sort of get these various pictures, kits that come with all the materials and the patterns, and just what I've started doing now is photographing sections and looking at them on my iPad because I can zoom in and mark them off with markup. It means you don't have to mess the pattern up. But I'm working on one at the moment. What's it called? Bird and flowers or something. And it took me ages to start because it's so. My eyes were starting to struggle with it.
Yeah.
And anyway, last year I got a magnifier with lights on, and that has made a tremendous difference. I can see what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And also, I've drew a grid on sewed a grid onto the material, so that I've got a lines going across every 10 up and down, so I can tell where I am on the material. It matches up to the pattern, because they're in like grids of 10 by 10. So now that I've got this grid on it, it's a lot easier to follow where I am.
Cool.
And I'd only done a little bit, it took me months to do this tiny little bit. And then after I got the magnifier and did this grid, it's really rocketed on not far off finish now. But I've got quite a few cross-stitch kits to do when this one's finished. Yeah, I split about between different hobbies, actually. I do knitting.
Well, that way you never get bored, you know?
Bored? I don't have time to get bored. I just don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. I mean, how I ever found time to work, I don't know. But, oh no, I will never be bored.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's about it. So I shall say for the mug.
For the mug.
And that just leaves Vulcarius to talk to me.
You.
Me.
Hi, Letho.
Hello.
Good week.
Yeah, not bad.
Colonized. How many systems have you colonized?
I haven't.
Per hour.
0. That's an easy one. Yeah, my HOTAS throttle is currently deceased, and I've tried, and I just cannot fly with a controller or a mouse and keyboard. I miss the HOTAS way too much. So this weekend I'm going to find somewhere buried in the back of my tool drawer box thing, there is a screwdriver that's got a long enough shaft on it to actually reach the screws embedded in the bottom of an X56 controller.
I was about to say, so everyone knows which HOTAS to avoid. Is it the Logitech X50? Is it Logitech? I don't know.
No, it's a Cytec X56, which tells you how old it is before it finally died.
I was going to say, I have a
not bad then,
Logitech, and I swear by Logitech. Mine still works now.
Yeah.
I have a Cytec X52, and it's also dying, but not like mechanically. But one of the chips inside is having some kind of issue, and it keeps resetting my joystick.
This one is pulling quite hard on several of the analog axes, even when they're zeroed. So it's completely unusable at the moment.
Yeah, but that fortunately that could be fixed. If my processor dies, it's game over.
You can buy a new chip and resolder it. You'll be fine.
No, it's custom.
You can buy a new Cytec X52 and resolder. Honestly,
it's potted in resin.
You may find somebody that's got one on sale for parts because it's not working with a different fault to yours. So.
Yeah, probably. But I think I will switch to something like higher grade. I don't remember the company that's making them, but it's very popular among YouTubers.
Yeah, there's several. VKB's very popular.
Yes, that's the one.
Very popular.
Yeah, VKB, that's the one. That's the one.
Turtle Beach are on the up as well in the joystick world, surprisingly. So there's a few out there, but yeah, I've had this X56 for 6 years, maybe 7 years, and it's done me well. And my muscle memory is completely ingrained, and now I can't fly without it. So yes, this weekend I'm hoping to get some time to actually take it apart and really, really hope it's something mechanical and repairable, or just electronic in a wires come loose sense. Because if it's anything on the USB controller side, or if it's, like you say, anything that's potted, then it's time to buy a new one. So I've not done a lot of flying in the last few weeks. At all. So I guess I should probably just say for the mug.
Oops, I was kind of in battle, but for the mug.
That's quite all right. I can talk on and on and on and on. It comes with being on the radio show for years. Yeah, I guess that's it for the show. I think we're done everywhere.
Nice comfy close to the evening.
Yeah. Anybody in a position where they can shout a farewell?
I have Mooncake attacking my arm right now.
We should just speak a farewell then. We'll do the quieter klaxon, if I can find it. No, quieter klaxon's broken. In that case, Aruga, Aruga, Aruga.
For the mug!
For the mug!
For the mug!
Mug, 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 mug.
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with grace. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossie always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Give me a launch pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. No part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hutton, whoa, whoa, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?
Seamless.